Did you know that 95% of soldiers addicted to heroin during Vietnam came back home and quit almost effortlessly? No rehab, no severe withdrawals, nothing. What does that have to do with quitting? A lot more than you think. Today, I'm going to show you how some people can quit effortlessly and how you can too. Now, let me take you back to the Vietnam War. Soldiers were given heroin to deal with the stress and the pain of being at the war, to the extent that the United States government was actually planning for a heroin epidemic to start when these soldiers came back. But instead, what happened is that these soldiers quit with almost no struggle whatsoever. No rehab, no painful withdrawals. They quit like that, completely effortlessly. Now, how did this happen? This happened because during when they were in Vietnam, there was triggers to use heroin everywhere. Heroin was just being used everywhere. There's triggers all around them. When they came back home, there was no triggers whatsoever. The context changed. Heroin as a drug didn't change at all. It didn't magically lose its grip, but the context that they were in changed. Think about it. When you're craving a smoke, you're not craving it for no reason. There's a specific trigger in the environment that is leading you to crave cigarettes, right? So there are areas where there are no triggers and you don't have any cravings whatsoever. Think about the time when you're on a plane, long flights on a plane. You're not constantly fighting the urge not to smoke. Or if you're in a movie theater, you're not constantly fighting the urge not to smoke during the whole movie. It's because there's no triggers in those environments. When there's no triggers in the environments to smoke, there's no cravings. Here's the main point. Smoking is as much or more about when and where as it is about nicotine. When you start to break the pattern, the link that you have between smoking and stress, or smoking and breaks, or smoking and boredom, when you start to loosen those grips by doing something else instead, you start to slowly break the pattern that you have inside your mind. So, for example, if you're constantly smoking on breaks, do something else like going for a walk instead. When you are smoking as a form of stress relief, which it doesn't help with stress at all, but that's for another video. Start to do something to release the tension that's in a healthier way instead, like deep breathing, like guided meditations, like going somewhere else as opposed to going to a specific place to smoke. You start to change your environment, and in the new environments, you start to build new patterns. This is a far more effective way of quitting smoking than just using willpower alone, for example, because you start to change the environment that you're in, you start to change the context. And this is very, very important. The context is where the triggers are, the environment, that's where the triggers are. If this idea makes sense to you, then I want you to leave a comment below and tell me where you tend to smoke the most, what times of day, what is the context that tends to trigger smoking. Leave a comment below with that information and follow me for more tips and for more information about the true reasons why you smoke and the best ways to quit smoking.